What are we doing trying to introduce this?
Today.
Okay.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast and the episode of today, brought to you by Boss Shot Shells. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
April 16th.
It's a day we'll never forget.
It is. So, Bat Masterson, Western gunslinger, fights in his final shootout.
I'm assuming Bat Masterson did not survive this. And this
he
was his
did. He did. On the streets of Dodge City, famous Western lawman and gunfighter Bat Masterson fights what is his last documented gun battle of his life. Bartholomew Bat Masterson had made a living with his gun from a young age. In his early 20s, Masterson worked as a buffalo hunter operating out of the wild Kansas cattle town of Dodge City. For several years, he also found employment as an Army scout in the Plains Indian Wars. Masterson had his first shootout in 1876 in the town of Sweetwater. Did not know that.
I did not either.
Or wait, it's not
Sweetwater,
in Texas.
Kansas.
Yeah, later Mobeetie.
Texas?
Mobeetie?
Is it in Texas now or are we in Kansas?
Oh, no, it does say Texas right there.
So Sweetwater, Kansas. Yeah, I've heard of Mobeetie. Mobeetie's somewhere down in that area.
Sweetwater, later Mobeetie. So I wonder if it was just, he was outside of Sweetwater proper in Mobeetie. I don't know how far that is. Anyway, when an argument with a soldier over the affections of a dance hall girl named Molly Brennan heated up, Masterson and his opponent resorted to their pistols. When the shooting stopped, both Brennan and their soldiers were dead, and Masterson was badly wounded. Found to have been acting in an act of self-defense, Masterson avoided prison. Once he had recovered from his wounds, he apparently decided to abandon his rough ways and become an officer of the law. For the next 5 years, Masterson alternated between work as Dodge City sheriff and running saloons and gambling houses, gaining a reputation as a tough and reliable lawman. However, Masterson's critics claim that he spent too much as sheriff, and he lost a bid for re-election. So
Mobeetie's by Wheeler. It's up in the Panhandle by Miami. It's between Miami and Wheeler.
So it's not Sweetwater.
No, it could have been. No, there is a Sweetwater. I'll be damned. There's two Sweetwater. Sweetwater, Oklahoma. It's right north of Eric. So, yeah, it's right by the Black Cattle grasslands.
Huh.
Mobeetie's a pretty good distance from Sweetwater. Mobeetie looks like it's 30, 40 miles away. Because Sweetwater looks like it's 10 or 15 miles from Wheeler, and Mobeetie looks halfway to Pampa. So,
this is not the Sweetwater, South Abilene.
No, it's Sweetwater, north of Eric, Oklahoma, right by where we used to hunt, south, north of like Hobart area.
Oh.
Right on I-40, west of Elk City.
Anyway, for several years, Masterson drifted around the West. Early in 1881, news that his younger brother, Jim, was in trouble back in Dodge City reached Masterson, who was in Tombstone, Arizona at the time. Jim's dispute with a business partner and an employee, A.J. Peacock and Al Updegraff, respectively, had led to an exchange of gunfire. Though no one had been hurt, Jim feared for his life. Masterson was on the next train to Dodge City. When his train pulled into Dodge City on the morning of 1881, Masterson wasted no time. He quickly spotted Peacock and Updegraff and aggressively shouldered his way through the crowded streets and confronted them. "I have come thousands of miles to settle this," Masterson reportedly shouted. "I know you're heeled, armed," for those of you that hadn't watched Tombstone. "Now it's time to fight." All three men immediately drew their guns. Masterson took cover behind the railway bed, while Peacock and Updegraff darted around the corner of the city jail. Several other men joined in the gunplay. One bullet meant for Masterson ricocheted and wounded a bystander. Updegraff took a bullet in his right lung. The mayor and sheriff arrived with shotguns to stop the battle. When a brief lull settled upon the scene, Updegraff and the wounded bystander were taken to the doctor. Both eventually recovered. In fact, no one was mortally wounded in the melee, and since the shootout had been fought fairly by Dodge City standards of the day, no serious charges were imposed against Masterson. He paid an $8 fine and took the next train out of Dodge City that evening. Masterson never fought in a gun battle again, but the story of the Dodge City shootout and his other exploits ensured Masterson's lasting fame as a Western icon. He would die in 1921 from a heart attack in New York City.
Be damned.
So that was Bat Masterson. Now, the fella that died today, Arthur Chevrolet.
I'm assuming the car Chevrolet is named after him?
Brother. There were three Chevrolets. He died by suicide in Slidell, Louisiana. Go figure. So Arthur Chevrolet, born in Switzerland, was a pioneering American race car driver and automotive innovator. He was the middle brother of Louis Chevrolet, co-founder of the Chevrolet Motor Company, and Gaston Chevrolet, winner of the 1920 Indianapolis 500. Arthur immigrated to the United States in the early 1900s, joining his brothers in auto racing and engineering. He suffered from depression on April 16, 1946, just 9 days before his 62nd birthday. Arthur Chevrolet died by suicide in Slidell, Louisiana, after battling clinical depression and hung himself in a garage. So, not all rosy in the Chevrolet family. Person that's born today, greatest football coach ever.
Vince Lombardi.
No.
Then it would be Bill Belichick.
It is. Bill Belichick, born in 1952.
I just assumed when you said greatest ever, it was going to be Lombardi.
Girlfriend was born in 2000.
God bless him for that. Boy, I can't imagine the headache that goes through, though. You know how terrible that would be? Would you want a 22-year-old girlfriend?
No.
And how old are you, 37?
Be pretty rough.
Okay, and you're 37.
But in his defense, he's got a life suited for the 22-year-old. I do not.
What do you mean?
I got two young boys that require 3 square meals a day, house cleaning, shit like that.
Oh, I know, because you drop them little heathens over at my house sometime. I understand when you come back.
That 22-year-old ain't there for that life.
She fits his lifestyle, having money to be able to do what he wants, a rich guy.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine having to deal with a conversation and shit.
Yeah.
I really can't.
Well, maybe he's witty. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it.
He don't seem like he'd be a lot of fun.
6-time Super Bowl champion as a head coach, 2-time Super Bowl champion as an assistant coach. He is the NFL's all-time winningest coach if you include the playoffs. So some of his controversies. Spygate in 2007. They had videotaped the Jets' defensive signals from an authorized location during a game. Cost Bill Belichick 500 G's, the largest fine ever for a coach, and the Patriots were only fined $250,000. They lost a first-round draft pick in 2008. Belichick claimed it was just a misinterpretation of the rules, but
The guy's a winner, but I'm afraid he's going to go out like Jimmy Johnson.
Deflategate in 2015. They were allegedly, well, I guess not allegedly, they got fined. They were letting air out of the balls during the AFC Championship game against the Colts. Gets a better grip on a cold, wet ball. Brady got suspended for 4 games. Patriots were fined $1 million and lost 2 draft picks the next year, the first and the 4th rounder.
Money well spent.
Belichick basically washed his hands of it and kind of said that it was kind of pointed fingers to Brady and everything else. And he gave a weirdly scientific press conference involving air pressure and the ideal gas law. It didn't help much in the court of public opinion. Pretty cold-blooded on his roster moves. He let go of franchise favorites, I can't pronounce his name.
Malloy.
Yeah, Lawyer Malloy, Wes Welker, Vince Wilfork in their primes, but just before their decline. So he got rid of them a year early sometimes. Famously traded or cut players before they became expensive liabilities. And like he's done a bunch of like weird things. He kind of bends the rules a little bit on eligible and ineligible receivers.
He's a smart coach.
Kind of see that now with the Lions kind of play that game a little bit.
Yes, they do. So
he's transcended the game. He had 5 years as the head coach for the Browns. He actually took him to the playoffs. 1 year, 1994.
He's the greatest coach ever. I mean, you can say, well, he did it with Brady, he did it without Brady. It don't matter. He won. It didn't matter who you put with him. And Brady done good up until his last year at Tampa Bay. Brady went to Tampa Bay, which was loaded just like he was at, so I think they both get credit for it. But I'm afraid Belichick's going to North Carolina and he's going to go out like Jimmy Johnson and he'll end up getting run out of town after he wins 4 or 5 games.
Maybe. 1991 with the Browns, he went 6-10. It was a rebuilding year. 1992, he was 7-9. They improved. 93, 7-9 again. 1994, they went 11-5, won a playoff game, lost to the Steelers in the divisional round. And then 1995, Art Modell announces that the franchise is moving to Baltimore midseason, and it wrecked everything.
I didn't realize he was coach of the original Cleveland Browns then.
Yeah, before they moved?
Yeah, I did not realize that. That's what's been forever ago.
Yeah.
So he was the Baltimore Ravens head coach when they were the Cleveland Browns, basically.
Technically.
Yeah.
He famously cut Bernie Kosar, the beloved Browns quarterback, midseason in 1993, citing diminishing skills, and it caused quite the uproar.
Yeah, he was a local boy.
So, did you know he was actually hired for the Jets head coaching job?
Belichick wasn't. He took the New England job.
Yep. He was head coach for a day.
Yep, I knew that.
Parcells steps down in 1999, and Bill Belichick is going to get promoted to head coach. Instead, during the press conference, he writes, "I resign as HC of the NYJ," and that was his resignation letter. So the Jets owned his rights to his contract. Patriots wanted him. So the Patriots actually gave up a first-round pick in the 2000 draft to get Bill Belichick, and later swapped later rounds also.
I'll bet you people are like, why the hell are they doing that? Well, they won 6 Super Bowls, so it was worth it.
During the 2000 season, the Patriots went 5-11, and then in 2001, Drew Bledsoe gets hurt, Tom Brady steps in, and the rest is history. 6 Super Bowls, 9 AFC titles, and 2 decades of domination.
Yep, and everybody hated the Patriots the way they hate the Chiefs now.
Funny how things turn.
The only people that like the Patriots were people in the Boston area. Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting.
He was a hell of a guy, or is a hell of a guy. I wish him all the best in North Carolina.
Well, I got news.
I wonder if he's at Coachella right now. Everybody's at Coachella. I wonder if he's
that's
partying
in North
it
Carolina.
Up. No, I bet he's all about business.
His girlfriend is not into old guys that are poor. I promise you.
No.
So
She's got a type.
yeah,
She's got a type.
green.
Yeah. So it's worked out for both of them so far. So I hope
They
it does.
actually have made it longer enough for her. They would.
He's
God,
just,
can you imagine as your daughter? Are you like proud? Like, my daughter's dating Bill Belichick. Like, if your daughter was dating,
that would mean that
they're the same age, probably.
22 years old. No, I bet her parents are in their 50s.
Yeah, they're younger than
They're
he
younger
is.
than Belichick.
But if your daughter was 22 years old and she was dating the guy that used to be at Tech, Kingsbury,
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh, my daughter's dating Cliff Kingsbury. Good looking guy, blah, blah, blah. Is your daughter dating Bill Belichick? Yeah. Mm-hmm, yeah.
Maybe you just leave it at former Super Bowl winning head coach. My daughter's dating a head coach.
You know, when her parents walk out of the room, their friends are like, yeah, their daughter's a whore.
Probably fucked him on the first day.
Gold digger.
All right, that's today, April 16th. Everybody have a great day. Watch for deer.
God bless you.